Have you ever had those feelings of inadequacy where you think to yourself that you're not quite good enough? Maybe at work, you're at a level that you're higher than you think you ought to be, and that everyone around you is better than you are. That you're frightened that one day you're going to get found out for not being as good as they think you are. In your friendship groups, do you feel that everybody's more confident than you are? That they're freer with what they say because unlike you, they're not scared that they're going to say the wrong thing? And that when you're doing things and you're helping people, that you feel as though you're an imposter and that you shouldn't be giving out this advice because you don't think you're as good as you feel you should be. And if that's how you're feeling, I know how you feel. I understand that fully. And that's what today's video is about. If you're new here, I'm James, and I've been sharing advice and encouragement on this channel for coming on 2 years now. And I'm also suffering from imposter syndrome. And 2025 is the year that I'm going to opt out from being an imposter, because I've begun to understand actually what imposter syndrome actually is. It's insecurity. And my hope is that what I'm going to tell you now is going to help you by learning from the things that I feel. And you'll be able to relate and understand why we feel like we do and what we need to do to stop feeling like that. Now for me, when I started this channel, I've said this before, it was about my 2 sons and leaving them messages that they can go back on in years to come, perhaps when I'm not here, to leave advice and experiences that I've had so they don't have to make the same mistakes as me. And when I started doing that, I felt really comfortable. It was something that didn't make me feel like I was stepping out of my comfort zone, because after all, it was my 2 boys. But along the way, something happened. And what it was, other people started watching the channel and leaving me comments about how things that I've said have helped them in their journey. Well, that's all well and good, but that is when the imposter syndrome took a bite out of me. Because you see, I'm comfortable talking to my boys about the stuff that's gone in my life. But when it comes to a bigger audience, I'm not so comfortable. And the realization that had come to me was that I'm not an expert. But you know what an expert is? An X is a has-been and a spurt is a drip under pressure. But people always seem to think that listening to someone who's got this worthy advice means that they kind of know what they're doing. They've got their act together. And nothing could be further from the truth. Because I'm not an expert, I have never gone to college or university to study things like psychology and the way we go on in life. They're things that I've never done. And so I've learned by making mistake after mistake after mistake. And over the years, I've built up this library of knowledge, I suppose. But it doesn't make me an expert, because all I'm doing is sharing advice about stuff that I've gone through along the way and have answers that work for me. Now, in saying that, I do this on a regular basis, but not everything I'm going to say is going to relate to you. There are going to be times when I say things that you're going to go, oh, James, God, that's so stupid. And I understand that. But the majority of the time, you and other people are going to go through the same rubbish in life that I've gone through. It's just how it is. And when I read all those comments that people have made, it boosts the ego a little bit. It makes me feel humbled that what I have to say is striking a chord with other people. But it also very often makes me feel like some stage down the road I'm going to get found out and people are going to realise that I'm not quite as clever as I appear to be. And I'm not. All I'm doing is what you're doing. All I'm doing is gaining experience as we go along this road of life. The only difference between me and a lot of people is that I'm older, so I've been through more stuff. There will be people that I'm not as old as, and they've been through more than me, so they'll have a bigger vision than I do. But what I've realised is that having an imposter syndrome does not make you a bad person. What you have to do is work out how you can make you feel better, so that when you're giving out your advice or when you're sharing experiences with other people, you don't feel as though you're inadequate, because that's what a lot of us feel. So what I've decided to do this year in 2025 is to quit feeling that I should be an expert. I've decided that all of what I talk about is stuff that I'm comfortable to talk about. I don't pretend to be something that I'm not. I don't want you to feel that I'm something that I'm not. All I'm doing is sharing stories and experiences from my life, sharing the lessons that I've learned along the way. That doesn't make me an expert. It just makes me somebody who's dealt with a few more issues, if you like, during the period that I've been on this earth. If you like, more than being an expert, I'm a guide. And that's the same for you too. You don't have to think that you're out of your depth, because you have your own experience to go by. And you need that confidence to feel that what you have to say is worthwhile. So what if you get found out along the way? Who said we're all perfect? I don't claim to be anything I'm not. All I am is someone who feels that what I've got to say has a little bit of value. I still think that when I talk about things on this channel, I'm talking to my sons. And in my role as a father, I try to give as honest and helpful advice as I can. And if that works for other people too, that's brilliant. But what it mustn't be is overwhelming, because there have been times when I've not felt good enough. And so in 2025, I'm going to say to you that what I feel you should do is give yourself a bit of a break. If you feel you're not good enough, start to do a few things that make you realise that you're a good person. Start to take a bit of time, instead of running yourself down, build yourself up. Check out each day the things that you've done and what you've done that is good, that can contribute to society. And I'm not telling you to go out and be a volunteer or any of that. Just live your normal life. Do things that are nice, do things that are helpful. And over a period of time, you should be able to back up your feelings with experience of having done these different things. After all, don't you feel that you deserve to win? Don't you think that in this life that we live, you overcome so much and you deserve better out of life? I love this channel. I love the people that are in it. I'm trying to build a community of people that are supportive to each other, that comment about things, not only when I'm saying things that you like, but also come into me with something from a different angle that gives me something to think about, to realise that maybe there is another way. And in my role as a guide, if you like, I'm hoping to be ever learning, to be able to find more things along the way that will help other people along their way. And if you can do that, don't you think that's worth doing? Now, you don't have to have a YouTube channel like I do. You can be someone who's there for someone in your life. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be an acquaintance at work. But you can be sure that you too have a whole heap of experiences that you can share to help someone do better in their life. And that's what I hope for this channel in 2025. I'd like to see obviously it grow. But I'd like to see people interacting, people sharing comments down below with their thoughts as well as mine, because we can all learn from each other. And what you'll find is the more you do that and the more you help, the less you'll have imposter syndrome. And you won't have to feel so insecure, because you'll know that you're actually a good person, because you're contributing, you're doing things that can help others. You may do things directly to help others. And that's a great feeling to have, you know, when you know that something you say or something to you has a positive impact on someone else. There's no need to feel imposter syndrome. You don't have to be an expert. You can just be someone who's helpful. And on that note, if you click over there, you'll find another video that will help you move on. I'll see you just there.